Joseph.
Broadcast is
All right. So here we are. Okay, should I lead this today?
Yeah, please.
I am so excited to be here with the author, the Amazon #1 best-selling author, Joseph. What's your last name?
Jouhzu.
Joseph Kalu. We have been friends now for how long, Joseph?
Well, we've been friends for what, 5 months, but I've been following you for over like 8, 6, 7 years now. And you've
But he
been
just
an
called,
inspiration.
for everybody who doesn't know, he called me up last night with a little bit of news and was telling me about his book. And that not only did he write a book, he is the Amazon #1 best-selling author for dating for the socially awkward, overcoming social anxiety and gain the confidence to get the girl you desire. Do you know how many people you're going to help with that? I'm sure you do. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got this book written, or whatever else you want to start at the beginning. But tell me about this, because I've been so excited ever since I saw your book.
So it's a pretty long story. So basically it started off like with when I was younger, I kind of like had problems asserting myself. And then I looked up on internet, YouTube, and I saw your channel and I was like, skills communication training. And I binged watched all your videos. And my favorite video of yours is when you respond to somebody who's being disrespectful. Why would you do that? You know, why would you say that to me? You know, like that's my favorite video. And it really helped me get out of my shell and like deal with people who were trying to take advantage of shy people, because I used to be very shy and introverted myself. And once I got that down, where I can deal with difficult people, I found the next challenge. I was like, hang on, I'm becoming like a young teenager. And I have no idea how to talk to girls. So I kind of like studied psychology, still followed you, and I started getting better. And you were the one to actually inspire me to start my own YouTube channel. And now I'm actually teaching other young boys who used to be in my position how to be more assertive, how to get off the comfort zone, how to be more confident, how to make friends, and eventually find their love, you know?
That is so wonderful. You know, I'm so amazed by you, because when I've seen your videos. The last time we spoke, I went right to your channel and I was amazed by your videos and everything about them, the quality, the content. And I would never guess that you were somebody who, I think that you had told me you didn't talk at all. You weren't getting out much.
Nah, I was very introverted. I was more of a gamer, you know? That's why I relate to my audience. I relate to my audience a lot because they're also like, they're introverted. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of them, they find it very difficult to make friends at high school. And once they leave high school, there's this challenge of actually making new friends. So instead they turn to video games and online friends. And I was the same person, you know? But luckily, somehow, somewhere, I managed to get out of it. And I kind of want to lead people the same path, because it can become a negative spiral. You know, when you play video games, you make online friends and you don't really have real life friends. Then you kind of like only pay attention to the online community and don't really learn the social skills to deal with real people, you know?
So is that happening a lot these days? Because I've wondered about that. I'm not into gaming, although I wanted to start a gaming channel just because I know that they're so popular, but I can't do it because I'm not into it. I don't know how to play. But is that happening where people really are kind of falling into that cycle that we were afraid they might fall into if they just sit at home and play video games?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially with the quality in PlayStation 5 coming out, it's becoming a bit more prevalent among young boys as well, you know? And that's where I kind of want to help them, because even young boys, there's a lot of testosterone going and they want to meet like their crush, or, you know, but because they've been so isolated for so long and they count themselves as awkward or introverted, you know, there's no way where they even like would consider, you know, talking to somebody, let alone like making friends, you know?
You know, that's so great that you say that, because you have to tell me more about your book, give everybody the details. But I was just saying on a video yesterday, one of my last couple of videos, that it's been my experience that people who believe that they have some type of challenge, or that they're somehow on the spectrum someplace, or are introverted, they believe that they don't have the skills. When they study and learn the skills, because they come into it saying, there are things for me to learn and I know that I can do it, and they take a systematic approach, they are always like superstar communication students, because in the end, they're the ones who just do what has been proven to work. They implement it. And is that what you're helping kids do now? Just
100%.
tell me about your book and your website and all of it.
Okay. So there's just people on my Discord asking what is the link to Dan O'Connor's live stream. So I'm going to send it to them real quick.
Sure. Where should I send it to? Should I send it out someplace?
No, I'll just do it real quick.
Okay.
I've told them everything about you. I've told them. So let me just talk to your followers. Dan O'Connor is the guy. He is the one that inspired me to write this book. He's the one to inspire me to start my YouTube channel. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I would have made it, you know? Like, if I'm going to be real, if it wasn't for your videos, like, you have really, really inspired me. And that's no lie of a word. Like, I'm just telling you right now. So I have to give you all the credit. Coming back to my book.
You are such an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
You don't even, you could never know.
Yeah. So in terms of my book, it starts off like I tell my backstory, like, because a lot of people relate, just like what I said, like about the video games. But it starts off with people making it out of social anxiety, because that is the main thing that holds people back, is their social anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
I cover that area because I've got a background in psychology, so I know what kind of methods psychologists used, right? But I kind of put it in like layman's terms, in simple terms, right? And then from there on, I kind of go on to like teaching people how to become more confident. And basically, I'm using my own experience and like psychological research, like current contemporary research, to kind of like back myself up. And then from there, confidence, I go into like how to make friends, because I feel like friends, they will be there for you when hard times hit, you know? And friends is like the important part, you know? It gives you confidence knowing that there's people that are always looking out for you, and that have got your best interest at heart, right? And then eventually, you know, how to date your crush. That's like my last chapter, where I discuss, like, because a lot of times I've noticed that people get disheartened very easily, especially when it comes to like females, especially if they don't have experience, and it kind of like, it could scar them. So I kind of go into depth how you can actually not only get desensitized, basically more confident, but also like how to go about it in a more subtle way, rather than putting yourself all out there, you know?
Could you tell me a tip? Like, let's say that I am wanting to break out of my introverted shell. I feel as though I'm really not connecting, and I think I'm like you were at the beginning. What's the first thing I can do to start breaking out of my shell and being more? Because you're never going to be extroverted if you're introverted, right?
Yeah.
You're just going to be able to do things that you thought you never could.
Yeah, 100%. So in my book, I stress it's very tough to build on weakness. Character cannot be built on weakness. It can be built on strength. So if you're not outgoing, and if you more quiet and introverted, but you happen to be a good listener, right? But you happen to be a good listener, you can ask open-ended questions and get the other person to talk more, whereas you listen instead, right? And in this way, you both benefit. The person gets to talk, and you get to listen, and you both kind of like complement each other. You see what I mean?
True story. I was just talking about this the other day. My parents, on their first date, my mother's baka, 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 all the time. And so she said to my dad halfway through the date at dinner, she said something like, you know, I apologize. People tell me I talk too much. And he said, no, I like to listen. And she said at that moment, she knew, I'm going to marry you.
One. Exactly. Get my book.
Yeah.
Mr. Dan O'Connor, you can actually highlight some comments, you know, like if people like the comments, and
for sure,
when they have questions, you can actually highlight them.
Yep. How do you should I read them to you?
Oh, no, you just press them and then they'll come up on the screen.
Okay. Whoops. There we go. This is nice.
how do you make friends if people are always looking at their cell phone and don't care to socialize? I feel like a lot of people, it's not that they don't care, but with the cell phone being so accessible, it makes it an easier alternative, you know? Like, I've done one video on how to increase your social awkwardness tolerance. And a lot of times when people feel awkward, they look at the phone, you know? That's what they do, the first thing they do, right? As a coping mechanism, you know?
Yeah.
And when I started out early on, what I started doing is, okay, I might be in a social environment, I feel awkward, I don't feel comfortable, but I will not under no circumstance look at my phone, right? And I would kind of practice doing that. Guess what? Lo and behold, eventually I was forced to figure out different ways to actually deal with awkwardness and actually come out of my comfort zone, you know? And so I agree with you in terms of the phone. It's a bad thing because it kind of perpetuates a bad habit of feeling awkward and, you know, like being awkward. But then again, there's opportunity to actually use it to your advantage by not using it when you feel awkward.
And what would you say to somebody or have you had the experience where you're trying to make friends, but people are so obsessed with their cell phones that it makes you feel like you're getting knocked down? I mean, do you have, because I'm not my friends aren't on the cell phone, you know, so do you experience that, and what do you do about it?
So sometimes, and that's now it's more like the norm. So you be the odd one out if you actually don't do the same thing, right? But what you can do is call people out on it, you know? You know, like, oh, I love this cell phone party or something like that, that kind of brings the attention to like, look, we're here to socialize and, you know, you can always be on your phone, you know? Yeah, most definitely. Because if you point it out to people, then they realize, oh yeah, I've been on my phone for, you know, I'm here to meet you, you know?
And tell me, how do you, I put another comment up, but how would you balance talking and listening? How do you do it?
Oh, talking and listening. How about work? Be great. So talking and listening. So it depends on whether I know the person or not, you know? Initially, for example, if I don't know you, I will try and if I am the one to approach you, right? I would be the one to do most of the talking initially to get you comfortable, you know? And then I try and ask questions by actually getting you to talk more, getting you to like, you know, engage and be comfortable, you know, like sharing your ideas, your stories with me. And I would just switch into listening mode, and then like we build up on each other, you know, like when somebody says something and you have got something related that you can relate to, right? Then you kind of like build on top of each other material, you know, conversational material. And it should be like a two-way conversation, you know? But initially you will find, especially when you talk to a girl for first time, that you will do 90% of the talking because you have to kind of gauge the comfort level. Someone like you, Dana Connor, when I first talked to you, it flew immediately, you know, like it was really nice, you know?
It really was. The minute I talked to you, it was like I was talking to an old friend. That was really nice.
Oh, that's so nice.
Well, a young friend. But when you go out on a date now, that's one of, I don't know if you get it on your website. By the way, could you please tell everybody again what the name of the best place to contact you would be? If it's your
Instagram, same name, Jouhzu, but I've got my own YouTube channel, Jouhzu. Yeah.
I will put that in the description, by the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. Of course.
But Instagram as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Instagram.
So when people, one of my top questions that people will ask me, and I want to get because you're much more suave, what your opinion about this. You probably get this a lot. How do I ask a girl out, and how do I know if a girl likes me or a boy? You know, the same thing, but that's the number one question. How do I ask them out, and how do I know if they'll like me? All
right. How do I ask them out? So it depends on the scenario. So I've got one video on my channel where I met a girl, and the way I asked her out, initially it was just a normal conversation. We talked, we connected, and I always make sure I have like one or two of like few common ground, you know. Make sure I listen more than I talk, because I want to find out, pinpoint what she likes, what she doesn't like. And she happened to like painting, for example, you know, like we talk about painting and stuff, you know, like different things. We've got common ground because I like anime and it kind of like animation stuff. So when it comes time, when the conversation flows, I ask for the Instagram straight away. So a lot of times what I see is people ask for the number or social media at the end, but I always like to do it in the middle so that it doesn't feel like, you know, now what? So I always like, oh, you got Instagram? While we talk, right? And in the end, I asked them like very nonchalantly, just casual, oh, I think we should go painting sometime if you like, you know, like something that we have actually connected on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just do it as part of the conversation, so you're not having to ask her out on a date.
Yeah, because that's trust me, Mr. O'Connor, I've been crushed and burned quite a lot. Okay.
You have?
Oh yeah, early on, especially. I told you I was awkward. So it's the thing is, if you put so much emphasis on something, you make it awkward, you know?
Yeah.
But if you like, whatever, you know, it's just a thing, you know. If, for example, if I ask you, well, Mr. O'Connor, can I come over for dinner? You know, like that'd be, you know, you feel the awkwardness, right? But if I say, what are you having for dinner tonight? You know, let's grab something to eat together. You know, that's a bit more normal, you know?
Yeah,
But
and it's difficult because it's almost impossible to fake confidence, and it really is what makes you, once you don't.
What? I can't hear you. My YouTube channel is my name, Jouhzu. While Mr. O'Connor is actually getting ready. Can you guys hear me in the comments? I can't hear you, Mr. O'Connor. While he's getting his microphone ready, let me just give a shout out to my subscribers.
I had clicked the mute button.
Let me just give a shout out to my subscribers. Ty, Daniel. Oh, sorry. You back? All right.
Go ahead.
No,
Ty. You were giving a shout out to who?
Dan O'Connor. Do people say you should, if you could potentially spell my channel, because they want to know what my channel name is?
Of course. You have to tell me what to put there.
Jouhzu.
Like,
or if you just remove the comment on the screen, then they will see my name. Awesome.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. And I'm supposed to remove the comment as well?
Yeah, if you just remove the highlight, and then they'll see my name.
Okay. Luckily, my subscribers all know that's Dan's like this all the time. Oh, there we go. I see. Now I see. Your name is right there. Boy, this technology is just. I can't hear you now.
Oh, I accidentally pressed the mute button myself. I said, I don't care how bad you are with technology. I still admire you, Dan O'Connor.
Thank you very much, Joseph. You know, I'm so impressed because not only did you, and I think a lot of people would want to know about this as well, because the global economy and business and everything is changing so much, you have started a online business from nothing, and it's now successful, right? Like you could live off of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to hear more about that. But the first thing you did was you wrote the book. Please tell me more about the book if you can, if that's all right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the book is called Dating for the Socially Awkward, and trust me, like the title might sound strong, but I worked with my subscribers on it. So we all came up with the book description. We all came up with the book title because I've got a Discord channel. So we kind of like, I asked them, so everybody put a title description, title suggestion, and we came up with a title together. So we agreed on Dating with the Socially Awkward.
Discord is the site that you use to collaborate?
No, yeah, to kind of talk privately with my audience. Basically, it's like a forum. like a community forum for subscribers.
So you are so far ahead of me in the game. I can't
No,
get over it.
trust me, I didn't know about Discord either. But one of my subscribers who bought my course said I was expecting a Discord, and I was like, okay, let me go on that feedback. What is a Discord? So I had to learn a bit about Discord, and all of a sudden, boom, it worked.
Your book is it is perfection. I mean, the title, the graphics, it is totally. I haven't even opened it up, and I apologize. It's because I did not know about this until too late, and I've been mesmerized, and I told my mother, because everybody knows to talk to my mom. I was telling my mother, look at it. It looks like the book is sweating. You get that right from a cell phone. I can see what that's supposed to be. The title is like SEO optimized. I mean, you really are so methodical with everything that you do. I've been going around telling everybody how great it is, but so much that I haven't had the opportunity to really delve into it. So if I open up the book, what's the first thing I'm going to learn?
So the first thing you're going to learn is improving your mindset.
Oh, okay.
I don't care what you say. The mindset is probably the most important asset that you have, that anybody has, because it kind of like, while we all go through the same reality, the interpretation, the way we interpret it is different. So, and I kind of cover like two main types of mindset that I've noticed in people. Is some people who think that everything is like fixed, you can't change nothing. So they kind of like, those are the people that find it difficult to ask for help. Those are kind of people find it difficult to accept failure, because they think since nothing can be changed, it will define them. The outcome will define them. And there's the other people who are malleable, like they can change like the mindset. They think, okay, I can improve. While failure is not desirable, but they use it as a learning curve, right? And I focus on my first chapter on actually how to change your mindset. And actually, my book is very practical. I ask you to like write a diary, like a reflective journal. And what I'm asking you to do is project yourself 2 years into the future. Write out who you want to be in 2 years' time, the perfect self. Whether you want to have enough money, whether you want to be assertive at work, whether you want to have a lot of friends, whether you want to be good with girls, it doesn't matter, anything, right? And then you work your way backwards. What do I need to look like in 20 months to make it for my 24-month goal, right? Who I want to be. What do I need to look like in 18 months? What do I need, And while you actually work your way backwards, you have to work your way to where you are right now, and actually make certain actions, like set out certain actions that I have already pre-planned in my book for you, to make it from your month 1 to month 2 to month 3, and so on and so on. And while you do that, you want to keep a daily diary and track your progress. You write down what made me happy, what made me unhappy. So in this way, you, as a, hypothetically speaking, you like somebody with a fixed mindset, you kind of like providing yourself with evidence to disprove your own like prejudice against reality. Does that make sense?
Of course.
So if you have like done something that progressed your social skills, your confidence, right? And then maybe you continue doing that 4 months down the line, you look back on day one, you say, hang on, I've actually improved quite a lot. Maybe things can change. Maybe I can get better. Maybe one day I'll be like Dan O'Connor. I
hope I will someday. Wow. So you have people take a really good look at their everyday progress so that they can see the differences and the changes. I've heard my brother talk about that, about how you start at the goal and then work backwards, and that's very effective.
100%.
I have a lot to learn from you. Tell me about you said that you have goals for them, or you have exercises or things that you have in there for them already?
Yeah.
Tell me about those. What kind of things would I expect to do? Because I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on the program. So tell me.
Off by heart, for example, there's like different levels to it, but like just off by heart, for example, when I first started out, I couldn't talk to anyone. I couldn't, like I would start with video memos, voice memos, recording myself, footage, and I would feel super awkward initially.
Really?
Is
there a way to get videos of you at this point where you say you were really awkward? Because
if you go on my channel, you will see my early videos. Oh my Lord.
Like when you were the person that you have evolved from, really?
Yeah. I've got one video, how to be confident, and then I kind of like put a snapshot of what I used to be and what I'm now. You know, I kind of like, sometimes I come off as a bit arrogant, but trust me, I'm not. It's just a game, you know. But yeah.
I apologize. Tell everybody where you're from, because I didn't do that, and everybody's going to be wondering where's the accent from. Who's from the US?
So my accent is a bit of a mixture. My family's from Ghana. I was born in Germany. I grew up in the UK. Currently live in Australia, but I lived in Japan and traveled the whole world. So my accent is like, I pick a little bit up from everywhere, you know. So if you ask me where I'm from, I wouldn't be able to tell you, John. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
What have you learned? What is one of the major lessons you've learned? Because as you know, they say that every year of travel is worth, I don't know what type of degree, but what have you learned more than anything else from all the places you've been? Like what's a life lesson that you've learned?
Oh, the life lesson I've learned is two things, I would say. No matter what your situation is, it will always work out. Always.
Really?
Yeah. No matter what your situation is, it will always work out as long as you keep pushing. Always. Yeah. What is another lesson I've learned? There's so many, because I can't pick from one. But one thing I've also learned is, relating to my first lesson, if you burn the boats and you have no option to like go back, then you're forced to find a solution, and you will find a solution. But if you have like, if you know you can go back and there's like a boat left to pick you back up, you know, then you won't be as creative. So in any kind of pinch you are in, when you're in a real pinch and you have no way out, you will always innovate your way out of a solution, out of the problem. For example, this one time I only had 100 from travels, and I had to get to Australia. So I arrived in Sydney, in Melbourne, with 100 Australian dollars, just enough to buy me a flight ticket. I didn't know hardly anybody from Sydney or Australia. And I realized, 4 years ago, I met a girl from Sri Lanka, and she said she'd be moving to Australia. And I hit her up on Facebook. Luckily, she offered me her place, and I was able to find a job and actually make it. And I'm not saying it was easy. It was the most stressful time of my life. But I learned that no matter what your situation, if you're in a pinch and you have no way to safety or going back home or anything like that, things will always work out, because you will innovate. All of a sudden, I feel like your brain kind of like uses more than, like 50% of its capacity. But if you complacent, if you have like something like a safe option all the time around, then you never really encouraged to actually tap into that inner energy that kind of helps you become more creative, you know?
I never thought of it that way, but you're right. When I've been forced to, or when I have, for whatever reason, jumped off the ledge without anything and kind of been like plopped. I remember one time in the middle of a Chicago airport too, speaking of airports, where where I was thinking, how am I going to get to my destination? Because I had nothing. And then you're like, well, you got to start walking. And it's true. Your brain it's like how they say whenever there's a poisonous plant, there's the cure within a few feet of it. It's true. If your brain has a problem and you have to fix this, it will find new ways to make new circuits and figure out what you need to do, right? If you don't have the safety net. I normally do have the safety net. Where are your parents?
Oh, they're in Germany and in the UK. Yeah.
So you have been very independent. You don't fall back on them a lot?
No, I got fired from my job because of this Corona thing. And I started, and that's why I started producing courses on my website. That's when I started releasing that book, because obviously you inspired me, but that's when I really pushed it. And now I'm okay again, you know?
God, that's what happened when I first started on YouTube and writing books and things. My brother came and was like, "Hey, Dan, I'm sorry, but I had no money, had to pay the rent." And I remember sitting at my computer going, "I know that there's money in here someplace. There's something to do." And it's like you were just talking about, when you have to do it, you just do it. But you did a beautiful job. Tell me about what people will get out of your website and what I was trying to tell my mother, is that, and I apologize for yelling, is this a membership site or a course? Tell me more about what people would expect to get from your website.
So my website sells course purely, but obviously you're gonna be a member and you're gonna be invited to the Discord. Discord is for everybody anyway, because
Okay.
that's like a community and for people who want to improve, we share our successes. But the courses itself, I've got 2 courses. One, how to make friends,
Uh-huh.
and how to get a girlfriend 24 hours.
God,
You
in
know?
24 hours? Oh,
Yeah, that's how
tell
I'm.
me. Now, is that on your website?
That's on my website. So basically, the girl I told you about, I went out. I asked her whether she would like to do an interview.
Uh-huh.
I interviewed her. Um,
Oh, that's a
I
good
asked her
tactic.
for Instagram. I asked her to. I asked her, oh, we should go hang out and paint, tomorrow if you want.
Yeah.
And in the end, I even got like a little peck. The next day we met. So basically, I kind of like break down every little step that I took. Like, obviously, not everybody can do it, but that's why the course "How to Make Friends" is actually more important, because that involves like confidence and social skills, right? Whereas the course on how to get a girlfriend on 24 hours, it's more like what steps to take. But somebody without confidence wouldn't take these steps. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Sure.
they're in conjunction with each other.
Sure.
But you don't really have to go onto my website for courses. Like my YouTube channel is already enough. There's plenty of good stuff in there. It's just for people who want to have like a lot more detail.
But couldn't I buy
And
your courses on your website?
yeah, you can buy my courses, but on my YouTube is more or less the same. But just more my course is a bit more detailed, but literally more or less the same. But yeah,
You prefer people to go to YouTube? You think that's better for people?
no, I prefer people to go on my website and pay.
What's your website address?
Yeah,
Tell me your website address so you can tell everybody.
yeah, www.jouhzu.com.
Oh, just like you said before. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I got it.
But but what I would rather prefer for people to do is join the Discord and become part of the community, because like anybody who would like to improve, it's easier when you have people holding you accountable and actually are interested in your own personal growth.
That holding you accountable is that's a difficult thing when you're held accountable. You have to, and people act different when they believe they're being watched, just like the observer effect, in the lab. You must know what I'm talking about. With quantum physics. Everybody acts differently if they believe they're being watched or being held accountable, and that's a good thing, I think. When we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you single now, or are you dating?
Oh no, I'm not dating.
You're not dating?
No, not at this very moment.
But you're not. Are you single?
What does that mean? What's the difference?
Maybe you have a spouse. I don't know, because I've had a lot of people.
I see. Yeah, no. So I'm not currently dating.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not currently dating. There's this one person in your audience. He said he would like to have our support and would like to know the Discord. He wrote a book as well, screenplay.
Let me see. I should be highlighting these like you told me to.
Yeah.
I apologize for not being on my game today.
No
I should be highlighting that comment, right?
Yeah, he's Buck Concertos Whitney.
Okay. I wrote. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure thing. I would love anybody who wants to get out of their shell. I know what's like. I know, especially at the beginning, I will always stand behind anybody who wants to improve. Always, and anything I can do, like I would always, because I know exactly what's like. It's, the other day in my Discord, people said, "Oh, your girl. Oh, no problem. I'll still support you."
Really? What about what I've noticed is you're now number one author, or number one bestseller in your category on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. Have you noticed that people do not ask you how they could do it? Like other aspiring authors, they might want to get on Amazon and write a book. Have you noticed how few people ask you how you did it? And I don't know if you've noticed, you're like one of 2 people who have ever asked me for advice. That's why I gave it to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange. Now when you say it, I noticed it. Only other successful friends ask me how to do it. Another YouTuber asked me, how can I do it? And I said, mate, I'll support you, Yeah. But a lot of people don't. And there's this one book, it's called American Gangster. He even said it. He says, when you're at the top of the building, nobody looks up. only kids look up. So basically, use it as a metaphor. Kids still have dreams. Kids still believe they can achieve things, right? Whereas everybody else, us adults, we are busy living our 9-to-5 lives, focusing on what's ahead rather than aspiring to something greater, and that's what I've noticed. Yeah.
And people, now that you're number one, I bet there's not going to be a whole lot of people saying, hey, how'd you do it? There's just something that I think most people have where I don't know if they're intimidated or scared. Like the gentleman, Whitney. Whitney.
Lady.
Yes, the lady. Thank you. With how she took that step for saying, hey, I'd love your support.
Yeah.
I was always really amazed when I would go to, let's say, conferences with authors like you or speakers who were top of their game. For those of us who are watching and want to know how to get started and stuff like that, every one that I would go to, I would walk up to whoever would be the number one person, the top rated, and I was the only one ever asking them questions, and they're more than happy to give it because no one ever does. And
Nobody ever does.
I was just like, what's wrong with you guys? So I bet you'll notice that too. You have so much to share, and it's not that common that people will ask you to share it.
Yeah, not that common. Not at all. But
so yes, Whitney, we'll support you.
100%. If you just give me like a message on Instagram or just comment on one of my YouTube videos, I'll read every comment. I'll be behind you, man.
Do you respond to every comment?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell me this, because this is something that the audience knows about me. I'm trying to get a grip on my emails, and you said that you empty your email box every day. That is one of those things where it's like, no. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't believe anybody had ever done that.
So I don't necessarily empty it 100%, but I kind of like empty all the important emails. So the junk, I don't even look at it. I just swipe, boom, archive. I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, because there's so much like junk out there. But yeah, so if I'm not busy, I always put like time aside to look at the important emails, especially when I'm waiting in a queue or like in a bus or something like that. Allocated time, So rather than responding to every text message individually, it will take you 2 minutes or something like that. 2 minutes. Instead, what you want to do is allocate maybe 20 minutes at the end of the day and then answer all the emails at once. That will save you that 2 minutes that you would spend on every single email individually.
Wow. Okay. And for Whitney, who has this, I realize that you're a woman, Whitney. Whitney that has written so much. And for me, how did you get when did you first conceptualize your book? Was it when we talked?
Exactly then, yeah.
You're the best. Now, from that point until you became,
No. That shouldn't be surprising you, because keep in mind, I've been watching you a while now.
You're just, I just am so amazed, and I'm sure everybody is when they were looking at you, watching you here, that you had anxiety and that you ever would hesitate to do that. It's like you were born being a best-selling author. But from the time that you dreamt it up, and thought, I think I'm going to do that, until the time you saw it on the number one on the Amazon list, how long was that? 5 months?
Yeah, 4.5 months, yeah.
Okay, can you please give me some tips for those people, and everybody, give everybody tips, for people who have the idea of the book in their head, or maybe they have a book, but they have not yet been able to share it effectively with the world. Could you tell people to take some big action steps, how to take it from the brain or in print to now you're number one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll give you my absolute secret, and I'm not one of those people that ask for money or anything. I'll tell you one thing. Again, write down a reflective journal. Write down, track every single day. Whether it's like, what I do is I write down, one, what made me happy. That I covered in my book. What made me happy? In a sense, how have I overcome something? What made me happy? Whether it's intentional or unintentional. How have I progressed to my goal? My goal was it initially to make money online and do YouTube full time, so obviously selling a book online would be part of my goal, right? Then what made me unhappy? Unhappy is something like if my fear got to me, or if I've been lazy, or if I've procrastinated, because I have sworn to myself that I will never waste another day in my life because the days are numbered, like I
Right.
realize, yeah, the days are numbered. So I'm always secure. I don't feel guilty when I write something in the section what made me progress, how have I progressed. So I'm always like, it gives me a whew. What made me unhappy is something, to the question again, it refers to something that maybe my fear has gotten the better of me, or I've been lazy, or I haven't done something properly, or I made a mistake that really hurt me, or something like that hurt my progress. Then again, I'll do the next question I answer. If I write something in the question, what made me unhappy, I write, what do I need to change? That's basically a contingency plan. Should I come the same situation across? For example, the very first time when I started this, I had a to-do list and I wrote down 3 things. And one of the things was huge, right? And I just focused on that one thing and I forgot about the other 2 things. So I never got anything done, not even the big thing. So what I wrote down, it made me unhappy that I didn't get anything done, even though I attempted to do the big thing. But what I need to change was that I needed to chunk things down. So rather than trying to complete it all, chunk at least 25% of it, then complete the other rest. Because in that way, you feel like you still have progressed and have gotten more done as well. So kind of like always a contingency plan, Ever since then, I've never made the same mistake ever again.
Oh my gosh, that is just unbelievable. I mean, what you just said, ever since then, I've never made the same mistake ever again. What? Like that is amazing. So let me get this straight. Every day, to this day still, you will write down what made you happy that day, what made you unhappy, and maybe why that made you happy. And then when you are writing down, or when you're scheduling, let's say, making a plan, you learned that don't just focus on one thing because you won't even get that done. So you
Correct.
Okay, because time management is a challenge with me. So
yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
I was
Continue.
asking you about when you focus on things, how do you plan your day? Because you don't just want to focus on one thing because then you get nothing done. So when you're planning out, when you wrote down the things that you experienced today, how do you take that and then move it to tomorrow and say, based on that, what I'm going to do is this is how I'm going to plan. How do you plan your day? Because you get a lot done.
Yeah. So what you do then is the next day you read through the past day and you compare it to today. Oh, what I needed to change, have I implemented it? Have I implemented it today? And if yes, then you write it in the what made me happy section.
Gosh, so you are really into personal accountability. And I was just thinking today serendipitously before we talked about how the relationship that we have with ourselves is very often overlooked. We really don't consider it. I talk to myself.
I judge myself really hard. Like, I mean, I don't even cry in front of myself,
But you literally talk to yourself, judge yourself, give yourself goals. Do you tell yourself you're proud of yourself? Do you tell yourself good job?
I'll never do that.
You never do that?
Rarely.
Wow. What interesting.
I don't know. I need to do that more often, but I always feel like for example, when I wrote this book, I was like, all right, on to the next one,
Well, I would like you, please, Joseph, to stop today. Please do this for me and look in the mirror and say, I am really proud of you and everything that you've accomplished.
Do you know when I said to myself that I'm proud of myself?
When
I read this message, just bear with me. One second, I read this message. No, and I'm not even playing. It said, it was one of your messages, and it was something along those lines: "Is you are the most to-do action person I've ever met." And I was like, "Wow, that came from O'Connor."
You are. I mean, I meet a lot of people. Every time I said something to you, what I noticed was you would say, yes, right now, of course, tomorrow. What, like every time I would ask you a question, when do you think we should do that? And you'd be like, it was almost as if you'd be like, what language are you speaking? We're doing it tomorrow. I mean, I just spoke with you yesterday and here we're talking. You are the most action-oriented person I've ever met. I mean, you really are. So I'm not whistling Dixie there.
That's what I'm trying to get over in my book. Like at the end of every chapter, I always put like an action guide. I said, do this. I kind of compartmentalize that in like easy, hard, and difficult section for everybody to be like included, right? Do this, do that, take that step. Like if you like very shy, then I'll give you like the lower tier, then medium tier, higher tier. So that basically I kind of break it down for everybody to kind of gain something out of my book.
You're a very compassionate person, and you can tell that you really care about people. I mean, it's striking, I think. Okay, and hold on, writing. Now, Whitney just finished her. Great, Whitney. I'm trying to get you a question from the comments here because you can't see them. Is that correct?
I can see them, yeah.
But you can't highlight them the way that I can.
Yeah, I can't highlight them.
Okay. I apologize. While I'm finding a good comment, could you tell me how long do you think the average person would take if they picked up your book until they could have the confidence to go out and at least start talking to a girl? Now, is this just for boys? Or excuse me, is this just for young men? Or can young women benefit equally from your book?
I don't think young women can benefit as much as men. But I mean, you could benefit, you could kind of apply it to your own life, but it's mainly focused on men because I don't know what a woman went through or what they're going through. I would be lying if I told you, That's why I focus specifically on young men.
That's great.
And to be realistic, I put 24 months. 24 months to be I'm not even trying to sugarcoat anything. Gurus say, 3 months and this and that. No, hell no. It took me 6 years, 4 years. But based on what I put in the book, the knowledge you will gain, it will take you half the time. And the reason why I say 24 months is because, sure, you can make progress in 3 months, like transformational progress in 3 months. However, it won't last. It won't stick. A fence that goes up fast folds fast. So I focus on actually helping people to develop the skills and make it part of their character.
Oh, that got me. So you're not just selling a book. You're really helping people. Tell me about them. That the book that you said you also there's not just the book that you just wrote that's on Amazon, but the 24 hours to get a date. Now let's say that I'm in college and it's my first time away from home, and I'm thinking, okay, now's my big chance. I'm a little bit free. How can I write? How can I start talking to girls? How can I
like the fact that you used the college example because I used the same example in my book in chapter 17.
Chapter 17, okay.
All right, I've been in college.
Uh-huh.
I've been a not so popular person, and I've been an absolute popular person. I've been both, first year, second year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when you get to college, don't worry about talking to girls initially. Worry about making friends. That's the most important thing, because friends are your baseline. For example, if a girl rejects you, you go back to your friends and recover. They will, hold you, your friends are your core confidence. And in my book, I talk about you have to have 7 streams of confidence, because confident people are not confident for no reason. They're confident because they have loads of streams of confidence. They do sports. They have a lot of good friends. They have good family. They have maybe they're head teacher, head boy of the school. There's different things that fuel them in terms of confidence. And friends are definitely one major source of confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you always want to have more than one. Because the mistake I used to do in college is I would go beeline through a girl and then make her my only source of confidence. So the minute that stopped, I was devastated. It affected me a lot because rather than having multiple sources, the one source of confidence, which was the girl I had, the 100% of my self-worth shattered. Okay, So what you want to do is focus on making friends, get into hobbies, develop a presence in college, whether you want to be schoolboy, do things that you enjoy, but make sure you have a solid group of friends, right?
Mhm.
And the way I did it after I got friends, I started throwing a lot of parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started throwing a lot of parties because I've had friends. They talk to this person for me. They talk to that person for me. And I had like one female friend that would invite all the girls for me. And the fact, yeah. And the fact that I was the host by default made me an important person to the girls.
Oh, that's such a good one. Oh my, by default. Okay, that is a good one. That's a good one. Okay.
So you wouldn't have, you don't even have to be confident. You don't even have to talk much when you are the host, because the fact that you're the host, that aura itself puts whatever you say in a good light, you know? People in a good light. Remember how I said reality, we interpret reality differently? You might feel very awkward, but the fact that you are the host, you've got your friends around you, it's a controlled environment, and people come to see your party and people enjoying themselves, by default, people will address you with respect.
Yeah.
By default, you reciprocate that respect with respect. And all of a sudden you come across as confident, and makes you feel good as well because people appreciate your effort,
Uh-huh. Oh, you must have nice friends too. That's nice. And I have been lately talking to a lot of people. I don't know why. We all seem to be having just the same conversation in different forms. And I think people really need to be okay with, like we were talking about at the beginning, you might always have social anxiety, but you'll be able to move forward and be able to, even though you have that, talk to people and make friends and get dates. And I think people need to really hear that it's okay to be nervous, and it's okay not to be the most, it's okay to be awkward. It's okay to be nerdy. It's okay to be on the spectrum. It's okay to some type of be differently abled in terms of your developmental, development, in terms of your development. It's all of that is okay. And especially in college, right? You really tend to learn that like the ones who were once considered nerds or freaks, that all kind of falls away. And it's all of a sudden you're a new person, and people like interesting people that might be different from the average person. And it's all those labels go away. People can hang on till college. A lot of people need to be able to do that. But wouldn't you think that are you more or less okay with yourself today than you were a year ago?
Oh, a year ago.
I mean, when you're going to bed at night, do you feel as though you are, I've done it. I've done half of it. I've taken a step. Or do you feel like the same person in terms of your fears and your intimidations? Well, you already told me you didn't.
So, like, let me just get this one thing clear. Like, fear never goes away. You just know how to deal with it, better. But in terms of like, yes, progress, when I personally don't realize my progress unless I read my reflective journal 10 months ago, what I was like 10 months ago. And I was like, oh, okay, that was pretty good. Oh, I overcame this. I didn't realize, because the goalpost always moves with you, Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, no, you have so many good sayings. They're very.
I'm just quoting my book.
Smart. The goalpost always moves with you.
Yeah. So it really takes effort to sit down and think, wow, and appreciate your own progress. Even people who succeed, like they find it very hard to like sit down and, wow, I've come this far. Nobody really does that, but it's important, because if you don't, eventually you will quit because you don't see any success. Again, reality is different for everybody. While other people may see you like striving forward, it's what you think, Yeah.
I'm sure I know you have to get to your dentist appointment, by the way, but I know like I'm from North Dakota, and in North Dakota, they used to have, I think it was called like Prairie Madness or something, where when they came in the covered wagons to Homestead, where I'm from, it's the flattest place on the earth because it used to be a big lake. And it's like if you took an eraser and went Like it doesn't even have the curvature of the earth. It's so flat, and there are no trees, and there's no water, and there's no landmarks. It's just grass as far as the eye can see, or snow when it's in the winter. And so when people would travel through it, they would go crazy because they travel for a few hours and then think, have I moved anywhere? You know, did I go? Because you couldn't tell. There's not, you know, there was no trees, no landmarks, and they would go nuts. And it sounds like what you're saying, it's all relative. If you can't see that, if the goalpost is moving with you, I suppose you have to find ways like your, what did you call them? Your reflective journal.
Reflective journal. You can get it for free on my website. I'll give it out for free.
You must have stacks of them at home. Is that your home that you're in right now?
Oh yeah, that's my home at this very moment. I'm renting a room. But John O'Connor, there's one person that is, wasn't it Marilyn L? She said something.
Yes, Meryl. She was talking with Jupiter, I believe. Let me see. Yes.
Yeah, about the judgy personality. There's people who judge you.
Oh, tell me about that. I'll find a comment.
Yeah. It's the green one with the green picture.
Okay, is it a recent? Oh, there we go. Okay.
So basically, she says it's hard to finesse though people can be so judgy sometimes. It makes me think twice. Yeah. Gotcha. And I would like to say something about this. I've got a chapter called Overthinking. And a lot of times it's like when self-awareness turns into self-consciousness, you know, like you become self-conscious. And a lot of times, a lot of people who don't socialize very much or like are hyper alert about themselves, you know, self-conscious, especially people with social anxiety, because they don't socialize that much, they fail to realize that everybody has got, like, I call it the 3 faces, right? Okay. Everybody has got one public face, the one face that they put their best foot forward, you know, they tell about their success and how confident they are, how great they are, you know, the best foot forward, right? Then there's the second phase, which is like the casual phase. Only my family and friends know, right? Maybe they know about like my flaws or something like that. But then there's the private phase that nobody knows. Only we know, right? Our flaws, our insecurities, what we worry about, what keeps us up at night, right? These private phases. So where the disconnect happens with a lot of us is when we compare our private faces with other people's public faces, and we are unaware that they also have a private face, right? So in the end of the day, everybody wants to be liked for who they are. Nobody wants to be judged, right? Nobody does, you know? So just by understanding that, by understanding that, you will care less in a way, because you can see that that person also has a private face. And the only thing that is different between them and us is maybe we don't socialize as much as them, so they have more practice wearing the public face. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people will judge you, but note that they also don't want to be judged. You know, they will hide their flaws and insecurities. A lot of times, social constraints, social norms kind of force us to act in certain ways against our will. But in the end of the day, if you understand that, you'll be more freely to act the way you want to act, you know?
You're going to help so many people. I mean, just so I put your link up there, but you're really going to be just, I know you already have helped a lot of people, but I can just imagine through the course of your life. How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, 24.
24. You're going to help so many people. This, I mean, my nephew, I can think about, for example, I'm sure he's going to, I know he'll watch you. And I was thinking about him when you were talking about how a lot of us get especially as young men, get the self-esteem from their girlfriends. And then he went through a tough time, I know, when he finished relationships. And if you could touch, by the way, please, I keep you here all night, so make sure to tell me, Dan, I need to go when it's time.
5 minutes, yeah.
Okay,
five minutes.
You do? Yeah. Tell me about what you suggest with kids who might be feeling not so confident because they have been bullied and they are.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, tell me about that. Because it's always kids like you, like it's always the best, most beautiful kids. But tell me about your experience and how you overcame that and how other people can.
All right. So I've been bullied quite a lot and severely. because I grew up in Germany. I mean, if you different, they'll look down on you. They treat you differently. They treat you like you're inadequate. And I didn't know because I grew up in that environment. And I thought, oh, there was seriously something wrong with me, you know? So I would get into a lot of fights, get beat up. And the one thing that really saved me was boxing.
Really?
Yeah.
You
So
started hitting back?
Huh?
You started hitting back, or what?
No,
why boxing?
I started boxing with the intention to hit back, but it pulled me away from it. You know, that's so counterintuitive. I started boxing to beat them up, but I learned discipline and everything else behind it. And I wasn't even interested to beat them up again. And the fact that I boxed and I knew how to defend myself, I carried myself subconsciously. I carried myself differently, you know.
Yeah.
And people would never mess with me ever again. And I'm thinking, why do you guys stop? You know, like I'm not any different. When the reality was, I was just carrying myself a bit more confidently, you know, keep eye contact. And the most important thing, be respectful. Because when people are respectful, you never know what they can do or what they can't, you know. There's a reason why yeah, you know. And that's what you learn. It's crazy, man. Boxing really saved me, and it kind of helped me a lot to deal with the confidence with guys, you know, because I'm used to beating up guys in the ring. So I kind of assert myself with guys. But then that was the problem with girls. I never figured that out, you know, and that's why that's my niche of my channel, you know.
It tends to be people's focus. My focus when it became communication was because I struggled with that so much that I had to learn things, and then you pass it on to others. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that you had to learn things and now you're passing it on to others. But do you, I wouldn't say you're challenged anymore when it comes to finding dates, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Maybe a little bit with quarantine going on, but after this.
Oh yeah. And you know, it's true. Like you were saying, we were talking about at the beginning. It's you can't fake certain things because you don't. Once you truly aren't afraid of fighting, for example, there are certain things that come out where people then know, oh, he's not afraid. You can't fake that type of stuff. They stop going after you. And my brother's the same way. My brother is a black belt and he's a boxer. Boxing, he'll say the same thing. He likes Taekwondo and all that stuff. Boxing, he said that's the thing. And he says that he never fights. He just knows you can try all you want to hit him, but he'll just be like, woof, da, da, da. Is that what you do too? Is it hard to hit you?
Oh, yeah. In fact, it's very hard to hit me, not because I'm a good boxer. It's because I know how to deal with people and how to like talk my way out of confrontation and argument. I smile a lot, you know?
I can tell. Yeah. And you know what? I bet there's something about that physical. I don't know what it is about boxing. It's like a gentleman's sport because everyone that I know who's a boxer, they are rooted to the ground, like physically, like a tree. I mean, I can try to push them over and I couldn't. And there's something about that physical, what I've noticed physically, that transcends into their personality, where they are more rooted spiritually, it seems. Did you find that to be true?
100%. And a boxer can be a boxer. I don't know where it lies, but I can always tell if somebody knows martial arts, even just by looking at them, the way they walk. It's strange. So
you can tell that I'm a ninja in my other life. I'm going to show you my brothers. I'm going to show you my brothers someday so that you can see, because I think you're right. You'll recognize, you kind of give those, you can salute them in your mind, right? It's like, you know, the boxer in me salutes the boxer in you. Tell me, and I apologize for everybody for not being on top of my interview game today. This was a last minute thing, and I was just so excited to get on and talk with you. What I'm going to do is, tonight, I'm going to read your whole. Can you read it in a night? I mean, can I read through it and then start doing it?
You know? And a lot of pictures. I
am so impressed, you know, and I hope that you're proud of yourself. And because when you called me and said that you were so grateful and all of that, like, I can't tell you what a difference that makes, because the universe always sends people just at the right time, you know. And I'm so grateful to you. And I hope you know what a difference you're making in people's lives. And if you don't know it, you will know it.
Oh man, I appreciate it coming from you, man.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's just you're truly an inspiration to me. So I'm going to read your book tonight, and I'm going to start. If you don't mind, I'm going to start doing videos of using it as the context.
Yeah, absolutely. It's titled "Dating for the Socially Awkward." I mean, it's mostly for guys, but you beautiful young ladies in the comment section, you can read it too. I'm pretty sure you guys will definitely gain some out of it because you can learn from it.
Can you tell me why is it so different for boys? What, from young men and young women? Why would that be so different?
Because
we are book, in general. Why is it so different?
The book or in general?
In general, why is it that women tend to hold all the cards, and that the men are the ones? What is the big dynamic that people should be aware of going in?
Can you rephrase the question? Because I don't.
Yes, I apologize. Let's say for the women that are on here, with my male friends that are always asking women out, I can see that the women tend to be the decision makers. The men are going out and they kind of in like the animal kingdom. They will present what they have, and the women will then decide which suitor she'll take. That just seems like what it looks like for me. But the women who are struggling to find that connection with men, with guys, what's something that they can do as women? Maybe that's not your thing, but what's something that the average woman can do to increase her confidence in dating and start making connections with other men? Or if that's not your thing at all, then it's not your thing.
I would say honestly, I don't know.
Okay, good. You focus on the men. Okay.
Yeah, I would say I don't know.
Because that's so good that you have your target group.
A lot of us men are real bad dudes, like. So there's bad people out there and there's good people out there. And all I can say is try and get to know the person first initially. But in terms of what you could do, I'll be lying if I told you anything. I'm not an expert in like women dating.
But the journal, tell me what you call it again. I wrote it down. Reflective journal. Your reflective journal that you can download from your website. Which is www. Let me
Jouhzu.com.
I'm going to get rid of the comment here so that people can see it. That you think is the #1 tool that will instantly help people?
Anybody. I mean, like, even if you go on my website and get that, you don't even need to buy my book if I'm going to be real with you. Obviously get my book.
I want to support you.
You could literally like close the video right now, download that thing, and you have got all your answers, right? In my opinion, if anybody taught me this, I would have changed my life. All I can say is, for me, this has worked. For many of my subscribers, this has worked. And if you do it properly and if you discipline with it, like with anything, it can work for you. But you gotta, find your way with it. Maybe one sentence, one line, or even just using your phone, writing down, oh, I appreciate my day today. Like you got to find what works for you, I'm
going to close with this because I know you need to go. My father, I recently brought all of his stuff over from where it was, like his belongings. And he has just boxed. He did not have many belongings. He wasn't a materialistic guy because he used to be a monk, I think I told you. And, or a Christian brother. And so he was just kind of raised, not materialistic, but he had boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of spiral bound journals. And he would just write everything. If it had any importance at all, he really was a big believer in putting pen to paper. If it's something you need to improve or something that you need to be grateful for or something that is a goal or something that you need to remember, anything. He just was such a believer. And then I'm pulling out all these, I'm looking for information in particular. And I'm like, Dad, do you have to write? I mean, I'm going through journal after journal after journal. And so I can only imagine starting so young to take that so seriously. Well, you've already told us what immediate impact you get from that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it has definitely become part of me because now when I forget, sometimes I don't have the time. I feel a sense of discomfort. I feel like, oh, something is missing because I've done it so much now, like, again, just like the book, Stephen Covey, I'm going to quote Stephen Covey now, just like when I wrote the book, like, it all started with a thought, right? You planted a thought into my head, and that thought became an action, and that action, became a habit, and that habit became character, and that character eventually become a new destiny. You'll see me again. I just want to thank everybody who came actually to this live stream, like whether you like a subscriber of mine or not. Really know that you all appreciate it, and you guys are lucky to have somebody like Dan O'Connor, and he's an amazing person, and please keep on watching his channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Please allow me to do some more interviews like this on a not live basis and put some things out for people, because you are just so easy to talk to and listen and watch and understand and relate to people. And I think that you're just going to be so useful in so many people's lives. And so I'm so grateful for you and the blessings that you gave me, and telling me that I had anything to do with it. I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Thank you so much. My dentist is probably going to charge me extra as well.
I know. I know you're late. I apologize. So,
no, but I had fun. I had a lot of fun.
Joseph, the next time we're going to get together, let's do something extra special and show everybody how I want you to teach me some new tricks on organizational skills and things like that, because I think that you're going to do much more for me than I did for you. I hope.
It's all relative, like I would have never imagined to write a book. Do you know what it is? I've been diagnosed with dyslexia.
Me too.
I've been labeled. It hit my confidence big time, right? And then for somebody like you to come along and says, you know what, you should write a book. And it's not that you just said it with the casualty, the way you said it with the casualty, you really gave me the confidence, because he's like, yeah, you should write a book, and people will really, the way you said it. And I'm like, if he talks about it this casually, then I know I can do it, you know what I mean?
You're such a the way, when you watch this video back, right now with the light hitting your face, the way you said that, I got goosebumps all over. I got goosebumps. I think you're right. And that's, I was just talking about that, how when you say certain things casually, it can have such an impact, because it's like, wait, what? When you normalize it, right? Like, of course you would write a book, somebody like you. That's not that. I won't be the last person to tell you that you need to write a book on some subject. You have very many, I'm sure, in the library before you're done. So
I'll never forget that, Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. And thanks for blessing me right back. I'm so grateful. So yeah, let's put out a book together.
Let's do
it. I think with your organizational skills, I think this is already going to be done by the end of the summer. So please and do your best to enjoy the dentist. By the way, just one quick question: how can you go to the dentist isn't there a quarantine? You can still do that?
Oh no, they lessened the restrictions, because in Australia it was never really that bad.
Okay, that's what my friend must have told me then. Yeah. Okay. Well, enjoy your time. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful night out there. I can see the sun shining on your face. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I'll talk to you again soon.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wait, again, say your book again?
Dating for the Socially Awkward, Jouhzu. If you just type my name on YouTube, Jouhzu, you'll find my channel. And
for those gringos like me, the Z is a Z. So Jouhzu. And that is the author name. You can't miss it. It's bright red. I can't believe I didn't have a picture of it. I'm going to start promoting it. So you can come to my channel. You'll see it in the description below. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. You're a blessing.
Hey,
thank you so
much. Be sure to write another book, Batch Concert with me. I'll be looking out for you.
I'm going to. That was the whisper. Now it's being given a voice. So it has to be done. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, it'll take me half an hour to disconnect.
Do you press stop streaming?